FIFA World Cup qualifier, and Paraguay have targeted the star player in the opposition, Lionel Messi. They have launched an anti-Messi agenda ahead of that game. Stay on to know more. And what is the sport that's going to help you bond with the biggest powerhouses? And who is the latest diplomat to take it up? All of this heading your way, but first a look at the headlines. India beat South Africa in the third T20 International. India's batter Tilak Verma scored a century as the tourists posted 219 runs. South Africa almost pulled off a super chase, courtesy a fiery 50 from Marco Jansen, but India managed to restrict the Proteas, who fell short by 11 runs. With that win, India now lead the four-match T20I series 2-1. In football, South African soccer head Danny Jordan faces fraud and theft charges. He's accused of misusing over $72,000 in Soccer Association funds for personal PR and security. As president of SAFA, Jordan allegedly diverted funds for his own benefit. Jordan has led the successful 2010 World Cup bid for South Africa. France will play against Israel in the UEFA Nations League game later today. Amid fears of pro-Palestine violence, extensive security measures remain in place in Paris. After last week's attack on Israeli fans in Amsterdam, pro-Palestine groups have urged France to cancel the Israel match due to war in Gaza. The groups argue that similar measures were taken against Russia due to the war in Ukraine. In tennis, world number 3 Carlos Alcaraz registered his first win in the season-ending ATP finals. Alcaraz defeated 8th-ranked Andrei Rublev 6-3, 7-6. The win puts Alcaraz back on track to try for a semi-final spot of the tournament. Formula One will require a driver cooling kit next season for extreme heat conditions. The rule change comes after drivers faced intense heat at the 2023 Qatar Grand Prix. They reported dangerous conditions leading to dehydration and exhaustion. The cooling kit aims to protect drivers' health in extreme races. The most exciting part about the Border Gavaskar Trophy is always the build-up to the series, because there will invariably be something Australia will always try to come up with, especially to get under the opponent's skin. In this case, of course, India, to try to rankle them ahead of the big series. This edition is no different. The war of words between India and Australia, the mind game, so to say, very critical, especially when you are a good side about to take on Australia, has well and truly begun. Former Australia captain Ricky Ponting's comments about Virat Kohli is what stirred it all up. He said Virat was not who he once used to be.
I saw a stat the other day about Virat. It said he's only scored 2 Test hundreds in the last 5 years. That didn't seem right to me, but if that is right, then that's a concern. There probably wouldn't be anyone else still playing international cricket as a top-order batsman who's only scored 2 Test match hundreds in 5 years.
So, of course, the media just had to spring this on the very impulsive Indian head coach Gautam Gambhir, who responded with equal measure.
What does Ponting have to do with Indian cricket? I think he should think about Australian cricket and, more importantly, have got no concerns whatsoever for Virat and Rohit. I think they are incredibly tough men. They have achieved a lot for Indian cricket and they will continue to achieve a lot in future as well.
Don't get me wrong, Gambhir, of course, should have backed Virat Kohli there, as any head coach should when his players are being put down, but maybe he could have avoided taking a dig at Ponting. So that wouldn't be the Gambhir that we know, and what's the fun in that? Let me weigh in here. How can anyone really disregard or take a batter like Virat Kohli out of an equation when it's India versus Australia in particular? Kohli has had a monstrous record in Australia. In 13 matches, he scored more than 1,300 runs. That's monstrous. When the opposition is fierce, there's no stopping an equally volatile Virat Kohli. So Ponting was clearly trying to put some spokes in the wheel to rile up the Indian team, and he may have partially succeeded. But it did not end there. He further responded to Gambhir's comments, where he asked Ponting to bother about his own country and not India. And that brought out yet another colourful retort.
I was surprised to read the reaction, but knowing the coach, Gautam Gambhir, he's quite a prickly character, so I'm not surprised it was him who said something back.
Ponting going all the way here, taking quite a dig at Gambhir too. It's no wonder Peter Roebuck referred to Ricky Ponting in his book as the team that played India in that infamous 2008 Monkey Gate series, a pack of dogs. Ponting is surely not scrappy. He can fight on the field with the bat and, of course, off the field with his verbal jibes in equal intensity. It's in the Aussie blood. They believe in all forms of warfare, one that involves cricket skills, of course, as well as some good old Aussie-style sledging. Whatever works, as they say. The first test is little more than a week away, and already all of Australia is waiting for the series to kick off. And this is one cricket team that will have its fans play along too. They are the diligent 12th person who will come in thick and fast to back up their feisty team, even with sledging. The infamous Shane Warne's Bay 13 and its rowdy crowd waiting to attack the opposition fielders. So the first line of offence, of course, is the Aussie players themselves on the field. If that doesn't do it, the fans in the second line will. There's, of course, a third line too, ready and armed with equally scathing words. Want to know who that is? Of course, it's the Fourth Estate. The Australian media come in anytime their team needs some backing ahead of a series that is, to be fair, and they are equally sharp and critical when their team flounders. This is what one newspaper referred Kohli to during that ill-tempered series against Australia in 2017. Another daily, of course, came up with this: Indian summer over after just one day of the 2003-2004 series. So they are equally present and ready to be just as hostile. So all of them act together in great harmony to make sure the tour is as difficult for the visitors, more so when they are capable of beating their own team, the hosts. So clearly the knives and pens are out, and India has walked into the cauldron that is the hot Australian summer. Exciting to watch who will come out of this battle unscathed. South America's 2026 World Cup qualifiers are heating up. It is currently in the 11th round and some crucial fixtures are lined up. But all the heat is thanks to one particular face-off, Argentina's next World Cup qualifier, which is against Paraguay. It's in the Paraguay capital, but get this, Paraguay has primed itself for war. And it is all directed towards one man only, aimed at the 8-time Ballon d'Or winner, Argentina's favourite son, Lionel Messi. Paraguay has gone ahead and banned Messi's jerseys from entering the stadium where the match is to be held. The iconic number 10 shirts will not be seen anywhere in any part of the stadium when the two teams square off. Not just Messi's Argentina jersey. Messi's name on any jersey will be prohibited. Here's what the Paraguayan football manager had to say.
No one will be allowed to wear Argentine jerseys or any jerseys of foreign clubs with foreign names. We will paint the stadium in the colors of Paraguay and support our players as they deserve. This will be our way. Messi is our rival tomorrow. I wish him the best game of his life against Peru, but not tomorrow.
So that's the mission, ensuring Paraguayan colors are the only ones that will be seen across the whole stadium. That red and white will only dominate the stands. A stance that is as anti-Messi as it can get. There are many ways of looking at this drastic and seemingly shocking move. You can call it desperation, probably a sense of renewing that rivalry between these two countries and football teams, or a show of home field pride. But the fact is, it isn't just a game anymore. This is an entire country's stand against one single player in the opposition. There's another way, of course, to see this. The ban on the Messi jersey isn't just to rally home fans to band together against him and Argentina. It goes beyond the pitch. Paraguay is in a way saying this is our home and Messi supporters are, quote-unquote, a threat. Paraguay is protecting its national pride, trying hard not to be affected and wowed by Messi fandom that surges across borders. In a way, they are right in doing so. Paraguay hasn't qualified for a World Cup in 14 long years. So if they do it, it'll be their first since 2010. So whatever they can get to help them across the line. But here's the thing. This move is also an acknowledgement of Argentina's superiority, of the kind of superpower they are in the footballing world, with one man really being the face of that superstardom. Argentina's coach, Lionel Scaloni, had the perfect take on this controversy.
Players, they would want to see Paraguayan fans with their national team's jersey. But I believe that Leo is stronger than all of that, and there will be Argentina jerseys. That doesn't mean they are not cheering for Paraguay. I think it's good for soccer fans to recognize what he represents, and just because you wear a jersey doesn't mean you are a fan of Argentina. It's only in his honor. That's good. I don't think you have to mix things up. Although for Paraguay, it's probably better that everyone who goes wears the red and white.
Coach Scaloni there really speaking for his entire country when he says that. He says that the jersey ban won't even begin to snuff out what Messi means to Argentina or his influence on the sport or the team. Messi aura can't really be filtered out, even if fans show up in blue and white or do not show up in blue and white. Scaloni says it may not be for Argentina, but to honor Lionel Messi, Scaloni believes fans can cheer for Paraguay. And at the same time, they can also honor a legend. It's not about picking sides, it's about appreciating greatness, a sentiment that has long been attached to the sport. But Scaloni and his team also know how pivotal this particular face-off is.
I've almost decided. The squad will be quite similar to the last match, but I haven't confirmed it 100%. I have some doubts, but I think it will be similar to the squad for the match with Bolivia. And how the match will develop. It's a very difficult match with a rival that is doing well. They're in a good moment, and usually matches in the middle of the field are always important. Any soccer match is where you want to develop your team in a certain way. The middle of the field is always fundamental. I don't think it will be different from other matches.
A victory would mean Argentina extend their lead at the top and push their hopes of making it to the World Cup. The Argentina camp is in fact buzzing. They are gunning for a win, and Messi's presence only adds fuel to the fire for the defending champions.
Leo asks me, obviously, to be calmed and to play the same way I do at the club. That is the key. And then, obviously, adapt to the opponent. It depends on the opponent, it depends on the training, but he always asks to give 100%, to try to play the same way you do at the club, that this will lead you to achieve continuity here.
The truth is he's better than ever. We enjoy it because for us it's spectacular to train with him, so it's good.
Yet beneath the excitement, there's a focused intensity. Argentina are not underestimating the home side, Paraguay, at all.
With this team's game idea, I think one thing we always had is we interpret the games very well. We're going to face one of the teams that is having greater regularity, that is taking the message from Gustavo, their coach, very literally. And well, going against this team will leave us considerably drained, because for them, also being able to win in their house is fundamental.
Paraguay are 6th in the South American standings. They enter high on confidence. In their most recent fixtures, they beat Brazil and Venezuela. So when the whistle blows on Friday, expect fireworks with or without the Messi jerseys in the stands. The home crowd will cheer for their own side, but will banning the number 10 jersey really be enough to stop the Messi magic? He routed Bolivia in the last match, and going by all the pictures and the training visuals that he's showing us glimpses of, he's ready to fire up against Paraguay on Friday, maybe just to show that the home team that it doesn't take jerseys with his name written on it across the stands to make things work. The magic is what happens on the pitch. Word on the green is that golf is diplomacy's new frontier. South Korean President Yoon Yeol is amping up his game to cozy up to the US President-elect Donald Trump. Not with speeches or treaties, though, but with a golf club in hand. The South Korean president has decided the best way to impress Trump isn't through policies or boardroom conversations, but through his golf kit. Because if you want to get into Trump's inner circles, learning golf is the key to unlock that.
Golf, the classic game of the elite, has often been the sport where the world's powerhouses forge bonds, wear polo shirts tucked into tailored pants and discuss the most complex matters in the world. Word on the street is that South Korea's President Yoon Yeol is trying to master this art. When he decided to cozy up to US President-elect Donald Trump, it wasn't with political strategy or diplomacy. His go-to move was to learn golf. Why this unconventional route, you may ask? Because Trump and golf go way, way, way back. It's his second love after his wife Melania, of course. So if you want to win over the man, you need to learn how to swing a club. The obsession is so real that his team was a little concerned heading into the election. Reports say he was spending more time golfing than campaigning. Earlier this week, Yoon's presidential office announced that he started golf lessons for the first time in 8 years, all in the hope of getting on par with the man of the hour, Donald Trump. Trump owns 26 golf courses around the world, including in the US, Scotland and Ireland. The most extravagant ones are in New Jersey and Virginia. These are not just recreational zones, but contribute to his massive business empire and helps him pay his bills. Trump's latest financial disclosure shows he earned over $510 million from golf clubs and resorts. If these don't convince you of Trump's golf mania, we have some instances that will prove it. During his victory speech in Florida, Trump brought pro golfer Brian DeChambeau on stage. He addressed him as the US Open champion and cracked a joke saying DeChambeau hits the ball just a bit longer than he himself does. The former US president has also used the sport as a diplomatic tool. During a 2017 visit to South Korea, Trump said Korean golfers are some of the best on earth. He also golfed with Japan's former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Such golf outings were seen as opportunities for building ties. The picture that of course broke the internet and went viral was this one. Trump on a golf course with the most loved cricketer and Indian icon, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So Trump's involvement in the sport has also shaped his public image. Sports has long been a powerful tool in achieving diplomatic ties. It offers leaders a platform to build personal relationships without the formality of a boardroom. The US and China famously used table tennis as a diplomatic bridge during the Cold War. Nelson Mandela used rugby to unite post-apartheid South Africa. India and Pakistan have used cricket as a diplomatic tool. Of course, that very tool is threatening to fall apart currently. For South Korea's President Yoon Yeol, golf is the latest means of softening the ground for stronger relations with Trump. While foreign policy can be fraught with tension, sports can provide a neutral ground. And in this case, a successful golf game might be the key. Because when it comes to diplomacy, sometimes it is not what you say, but how well you swing.
Time for last serve. Libya revives heritage sports, but with a twist. Falconers showed off speed and skill in the first ever Falcon contest. That wraps it up here on Firstpost. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, do take care. Bye-bye.
Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we get you the top 50 stories from around the world. I'm Alison Lagrange, coming to you live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin. In our top stories, US President Joe Biden welcomed President